This, this surely will astound you. The amazing things you see. The card that feels so wonderful. How can those things be? A little science, a little magic, a little science, a little.
We're here.
Hello.
We did it. This is weird. I don't normally have to worry about my face.
Yeah, I'm not usually worried about your face either.
That's mean.
I love your face. It's cute.
Thanks. All right. Welcome to.
Here's where things get weird.
We're supposed to do one word.
Oh, here. Sorry. Let's try it again.
Welcome to.
Hi, I'm Jackie.
What the? I'm going to kick you off the show.
Welcome.
Replace you with Marceline.
Welcome.
To.
Here's
Where?
things
Get.
weird. You're supposed to do that with me.
Oh. Okay, well.
I don't know. We're terrible at intros.
Yeah, that's okay. We probably will not get better at it.
Probably not.
That's all right.
I'll try. Someday we will have a format. That's my format, is to one day have a format.
I feel like having us pointed at the camera is awkward. I feel like we should be pointed at each other. Otherwise, I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. All right, here.
Like we're gonna have a conversation and not like we're recording ourselves. Okay, first of all, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about people who have survived near-death experiences. Not necessarily, I don't know if, I'm not going to be talking about a near-death experience in the traditional sense, like people, so like we use the term near-death experience to describe, sorry, I'm so distracted by this tree. There's like a tree that's like broken and just hanging there. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
That's terrifying. Why is it just doing that?
I don't know.
There's a tree suspended in air.
It's just being a tree.
Don't worry about it. Anyway. Okay. Don't get distracted.
I'm fine. I'm locked in. I don't know what your problem is.
Okay. So when we talk about a near-death experience, we could be talking about the phenomenon that some people experience when they die, or they come really close to death, where sometimes they hallucinate, or they might have like some sort of experience. It might be spiritual or something of that nature. That's not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm actually going to be talking about a person who almost died and survived, focusing mostly on their survival experience. I'm not sure what you're going to be talking about, but I know it's related.
So I have 3 shorter stories about people surviving a specific Mother Nature type thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. So you're going to have like 3 shorter stories. I'm really going to focus on this one person.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the person I'm focusing on, they're, I don't know, they're pretty well known, I think, although this event happened in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll just get into it.
Yeah.
So I have this person's Wikipedia pulled up. I basically watched a documentary about this person, and I also read some of their book. Both of which are great, and you should check out.
Oh, she wrote a book?
Yes, she wrote a book about her experience. So here's what happened. Just briefly, she went through a horrible experience, and it was so profound in the moment that media picked it up right away. Mm-hmm. People were trying to contact her about stories. They wanted to write about her. They wanted to do movies about her. They did so without her permission.
Without her permission.
Yeah.
I hate when places do that.
Right.
When
so like
people do that.
There is a movie about this event, and it is the dumbest thing ever. We might talk about it if there's time. At some point, she, I guess, couldn't take it anymore and decided, okay, you know what? I'm just going to write my own book so you can know what actually happened. And we're going to do a documentary where I tell my own story instead of other people trying to tell my story, because so many people were getting so many facts incorrect.
Also,
Not that she'll ever see this.
I just want to throw out there, I'm sorry, I'm a fidgety person, and our current setup is going to be squeaky, so I'll try to keep my fidgeting to a minimum. I'm sorry in advance. Yes.
In advanced dressing.
Yes.
Okay. This person is Juliane. Her last name is spelled Koepcke. Kind of looks like Koepcke, but I think it's pronounced Koepcke.
Okay.
Which she is, I think, of German and Prussian descent, I believe.
Okay.
She was born in October of 1954 to German Peruvian. She is a German Peruvian mammologist who studies bats. So she's got
cool.
research papers out there. She studies bats in the Peruvian, I guess you'd say rainforest, or they used to say jungle. So a little bit of like history about her parents, just briefly. I'm not going to talk too much about them, but you know, her dad was kind of an explorer. Deep in the rainforest, he actually opened up a wildlife like conservation site.
That's cool.
Yeah, he met his wife, they got married, they had their kid, Juliana. They were basically raising Juliana in Germany and in the rainforest. So Juliana would go to high school in Germany, but then also spend time in the rainforest getting like a rainforest education. It was very like wild thornberries.
Like over the summers or like at the same time?
I think it was like over the summers and at the same time. She took a bunch of trips out there. My understanding is that she was friends with like the Peruvian people, the natives that lived there.
That's cool.
You know, and in the documentary, she went back there and some of the people recognized her. They loved her, you know. By the time she was 17, she was graduating high school and they were supposed to leave for a Christmas trip to this conservation site, which is now like a very famous, well-known site where a lot of researchers gather and have been for decades now. Basically, you know, they planned the trip for a couple of weeks or maybe like a week before Christmas or so. And she didn't want to go because she wanted to stay in Germany for her high school graduation. So she, you know, and which was happening like just before Christmas. So she wanted to graduate and then go on the trip. So her mom decided, okay, we'll leave a week or two later, whatever. And the day that they left ended up being the day before Christmas, 1970 something. Yeah, it must have been 1971. So 1971, day before Christmas, they hop on a plane. A little bit of background about this airline. I can't remember the name of the airline, but it was a shitty airline. It was terrible. Okay. It had a horrible reputation.
Oh boy.
But it was cheap, and it was the only airline that had available seats at the time that they wanted to leave.
Sure.
So to put it in perspective,
ye old Spirit Airlines.
Worse than Spirit Airlines. To put a couple things in perspective. There had been a crash just prior to this with this airline where the airline had seats for 92 people, which was the same as their plane.
I don't like where this is going.
But they had 102 people on board or something like that. Or they had, 102 people on board.
What, people were on laps or something? People standing in the... The 70s were a weird time.
I don't know. But I do know that when they were looked into, the airline company, they actually didn't have any airplane mechanics working for them. They had motorcycle mechanics.
That's kind of sweet.
I
mean, that's terrifying, but also kind of cool.
It's not. The people who were working on their...
Just got a full biker gang working on these big airplanes.
Not smart. Not smart. Yeah,
not
with leather
smart.
Jackets and everything.
Not smart, but pretty cool. I don't know. How would you feel about looking out your window and getting settled into a plane? There's just a bunch of greasers down there, just like...
The answer is bad. I would feel bad about that. Yeah. Now, if you're fixing my bike, great. But I don't trust a biker to fix my airplane if he's never worked on an airplane before. Or this is his second rodeo. Which happened to be the case. But, I mean, the airlines were running. And they were pretty successful despite being very cheap. They had a reputation.
Sure.
You know. It's the day before Christmas. Juliana's on the airplane. She sits in her seat. Her mom, she's in the she's in the window seat. Her mom is next to her, and then in the aisle is some other guy. Okay.
Okay. So it's just her and her mom?
Her and her mom on this flight.
Okay.
As they're going over the Peruvian rainforest, they see a really dark storm cloud.
Uh-oh.
And there's lightning flashes. And the pilot goes straight into it. Just goes straight into it. Doesn't bother, trying to maneuver or do anything else. Not try to emergency land. Nothing. I don't know where you'd emergency land out in the middle of the rainforest. It's huge and it's thick, right? Huge and thick. All there is just brush. She described it looking down as like looking at a field of broccoli. It's because that canopy is just so rich.
Yeah, totally.
Straight into the clouds, into the dark clouds. She said everything was like black. And then all of a sudden there were white flashes from the lightning. And then she said, there was some turbulence like she had never felt before. People were starting to get a little antsy about it. And then suddenly there was a loud like explosion or something. She said she saw a bright white flash.
Oh boy.
Where they think, and it's recorded in the Wikipedia now, this is what they're saying happened, is that lightning struck the engine right next to her window.
Mm-hmm.
So lightning struck the engine next to her window and caused it to explode. And she said people started screaming and the plane nosedived. Just went straight down.
Oh boy.
Yep. Her mom calmly said, "This is the end."
That makes it so much worse if it's calm.
So much worse.
I would rather the person next to me screaming their head off than somebody just being like, well, this is the end.
Well, and it's your mom, like,
yeah, no
thanks for the encouragement.
That's so much scarier and more ominous to me.
To my knowledge, that's the last thing her mom ever said.
Don't say that. So mom doesn't make it.
Mom didn't make it.
Yeah. Okay, I don't like this.
Yeah, no, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. And like also, trigger warning, it actually is pretty rough. So like if you can't listen to this kind of stuff, I know I have a hard time with it sometimes.
Well, hang on. What are the trigger warnings exactly?
It's just kind of a gruesome story. A lot happens to this woman because like I don't want to really spoil it, but she survived, right? And so she endured a lot to survive.
Sure.
Plane crash in the middle of the
rainforest. If there's any eye stuff or vein specific stuff, I need to know now.
There is a little bit of eye stuff.
Ugh. Okay.
It's swelling. That's all of it.
Okay. All right.
But there is some other grody stuff. There is grody stuff.
All right.
And I'm going to talk about it.
So if you're squeamish, maybe not for you.
If you're squeamish for like gore.
If you're squeamish for gore, skip to halfway through this episode. Yeah. Mine is not gory. It's scary, but not gory.
Okay, so by now, obviously, this story is about Juliane Koepcke surviving a plane crash in the rainforest, which luckily she was very experienced with that rainforest. She said the plane's doing a nosedive, and then all of a sudden, the plane was just not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
She is sitting in her seat, attached to the two other seats, and her mom and the other guy are gone.
Oh.
All of a sudden, they're just gone. The seats are empty, and she's sitting in the row of seats by herself.
Presumably buckled into them?
Yeah, she's buckled into her seat. She fell probably about 2 miles. Like that.
I don't like that.
According to the black box data, that's when the plane obliterated, and that's when she dropped, is about 2 miles above a little over 2 miles above.
So she was in her seat and left the plane before it like imploded or whatever? No,
the engine exploded, and as the plane was going down, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden
she somehow was outside of the plane.
So I think the shell of the plane just flew apart. Yeah,
along with most of the
rest of the plane. Yeah.
Okay.
And that debris is all over the rainforest in this area, and it was still out there more than 30 years later when she went back in the documentary. They found it, right? So there she is sitting in her seat, and because of like the weight difference, right? Because she's on one side and the other seats are empty.
It's just spinning,
it just starts spinning kind of like those little
those helicopter seed pods.
Yeah, from like a
Or those
from like a maple. Yeah, like a maple seed.
Or like those Barbie things where you pull the ripcord and they the ones that they banned because they're dangerous.
Yes, just like a Barbie ripcord because it's dangerous. There's a ton of speculation around this crash. Okay. But the fact is it happened.
About what that?
Well, it's like, how did this lady survive?
Oh, sure.
So there's a couple of scientific things that kind of come into play, because how do you survive falling 2 miles? You know? In the middle of a lightning storm. So, okay, the lightning storm.
Well, hang on, but sorry.
Harm knows a lot about weather, so I'm wondering if she can predict what happened.
No, wait. I actually was going to comment on something unrelated to the weather. Okay. I was saying in terms of survival, if she's in a seat, she's buckled, there's something that's going to help break her fall if she's able to land upright despite spinning. Secondly, because she's landing in a canopy of trees that is so dense and so lush, it's not like she's going to smack into the ground.
Right.
She's going to...
Yes. So that probably is what saved her life.
Yeah.
She was like a lucky 1 in a billion chance.
Yeah.
So part of it was being stuck in the seat. Actually, because of the thunderstorm, there was an updraft.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? So the pressure from the storm was pushing up against her seat as she was falling. So she's helicoptering down, but there's a wind picking her up, slowing her down.
That's wild. Cool.
She doesn't know this at this point because she's 17 years old and she has blacked out.
I mean, yeah. Probably the last thing you'd be thinking about is an updraft.
She says later she could kind of remember the fall.
Mm-hmm.
She said she had some weird dreams.
As she was like blacked out?
Yeah. I'm going to try not to talk about this too much because this shit can be kind of triggering for me. I was in a really bad car accident and I had weird dreams during that car accident as I blacked out. So sometimes the brain does like weird stuff to try to like get you through the moment. It's very interesting.
Just as a side note, important context to this too, Jackie has 10 years of experience in psychology and neuroscience.
I do. I have a master's in psychology.
So I don't know how much of that angle you're gonna like, how much scientific stuff you're gonna drop on us, but
honestly, her story is so unique. I'll probably sprinkle a little bit here and there, but I'm gonna just keep to her story the best that I can relate her story based on what she said in her documentary and book.
Yeah,
she says that she had some weird dreams. I forget what her first dream was. It was something about being in a dark space, like a dark room, and like kind of like spinning or something. But the second dream was that she dreamt she was really dirty and desperately needed a bath.
Interesting.
So she dreamt she was sleeping, covered in dirt, and desperately needed a bath. And she thought to herself, well, that's actually really simple. I'll just get up and go to the bathroom and wash off.
Sure.
So she went to get up and she realized that she was like sunk into probably like a couple feet of mud.
Oh my God, that mud saved her life.
Yeah, well, it killed other people.
Oh.
Yeah, so she is stuck in the mud. She can't see at all. And it's because one of her eyes is completely swollen shut.
Oh.
And the other eye is just a slit. She can barely see through it.
From like...
It's swollen so bad.
From like infection or from like
slamming her
force?
Face into the ground.
Okay.
She had a horrible concussion, obviously.
Sure.
And so she, shortly after waking up, passed back out.
Yeah, sure.
Who knows how long she was like actually asleep? But it was about 11 days before she was rescued.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be missing a bunch of stuff.
That's fine. I can always ask questions.
Let me like peruse. Oh, so it was the Lansa Flight 508 that wrecked.
Lansa.
Lansa. Oh yeah, 10,000 feet, or like roughly 2 miles. That's about 3,000 meters for those of you that know things in meters. So a couple of things. When she did wake up, she got up out of the mud and she could barely move, right? Obviously, your body is like stunned as can be.
Yeah.
She tried to get up and move, crashed out a few times. It took a while for her to actually get active again or to even see out of her eye.
Sure.
But she finally like kind of got moving and she tried to sit up and then she said she passed out from trying to sit up. And then eventually when she woke up again, she was able to kind of like get on all fours and she started calling for her mom because she was trying to see if she could find her mom.
So when she landed, was she still in her seat or was she just like...
I don't think
it was
so.
just her.
No, I think she was separate from her, or she might have been under her seat, actually.
Okay.
She's crawling on all fours, just barely. And she's trying to find her mom, even though her mom, she knows, was in the seat next to her. So it's like,
yeah,
you know, she started to like slowly come out of it. She said, when I came to, I was astonished by my wounds. Right? Like one of them was on her calf, which strangely, they don't actually mention this. This is like a major wound. They don't mention it in her Wikipedia. They do mention a couple others, but like, so her eyes were swollen shut. She had a wound in her calf muscle and it was a couple inches deep. And she said it was really weird because it wasn't bleeding at all.
Sometimes when you cut deep enough, it doesn't.
Well, if you cut deep enough, and you're calm about it, sometimes you don't bleed, which is really interesting.
I mean, if she was passed out when it happened, then sure.
Another thing is that she had a gash on the back of her arm, right? It was like right on her tricep.
So she was just not to be weird and gross about it, but just a fresh piece of meat wafting through the air, and predators were just no big cats, or I don't know what kind of animals are there, but typically...
So that's another thing that's talked about. Like, so we have a very narrow perspective on what the jungle looks like based on our media that we receive. For instance, like movies like Jumanji or something like that. And we're like,
Sure.
okay, there's big cats in the jungle. There's these dangerous monkeys, alligators.
Surely there's
crocodiles.
Something, though.
There were crocodiles, snakes, stuff like that. She mentioned that. And she actually came into contact with a lot of crocodiles. None of them tried to eat her.
Interesting.
So interestingly enough, a lot of wildlife that we consider to be very dangerous are dangerous, but they're not as dangerous as we perceive them to be. Like, it's not a guarantee you're going to see a big cat and it'll hunt you.
Sure.
Right. She didn't end up seeing any big cats, I don't think. She did see a lot of alligators towards some of the stretch. What she was more concerned about were stingrays, actually. And I'll come back to that. So basically, she gets up, she kind of meanders about, she finds the wreckage, right? And she's like, okay, I'm going to try to find my mom. So she's like crawling around. She kind of eventually gets up, stands up. She's walking around trying to find her mom, even though she knows her mom's not there. Mm-hmm. And she finds another row of seats with 3 people in them. Oh. So she goes to see if one of them's her mom. Can't be, because her mom was sitting next to her.
Sure, but she has a pretty bad concussion.
Right. She has a horrible concussion. Also, the seats were upside down, and they were about 3 feet buried into the mud.
Oh, boy.
So it was just the people's legs.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. She didn't go into too much detail. I imagine it's probably hard to remember that. She did find some food. So she took a little bit of food with her. She found a cake. Oh, it's the day before Christmas, right? So the plane was raining gifts and sweets.
I mean...
It sucks. But like, so there were a bunch of like gifts and like cake and shit just laying in the mud there.
Good source of like a lot of sugar though. Just
so she
energy.
Found this cake that was just covered in mud. She said she tried to eat it and it was disgusting.
Sure.
So she threw it down, and she said had she known how long she would have been in the jungle, she would have kept it and ate it.
Sure.
Because she ended up like almost starving to death.
Sure.
She said she wasn't hungry the entire time though. She never felt hungry at all.
I mean, adrenaline will really keep you going.
Yeah, even like 10 days later, 11 days later. But she said she didn't feel hungry, but she drank a ton of water. She just kept drinking water.
Where was she getting the water from?
Yep. So it's murky too.
Yeah, that's like...
She probably got like Giardia or something.
I'm sure.
But like, it is amazing that she survived. Another thing she said at one point, she almost ate, because she knew she needed to eat, she almost ate a poison dart frog. So and she knew what it was too.
What?
For those who don't know, a poison dart frog is a frog that is used by the indigenous people there. It's called a poison dart frog because they have poison on their skin, and you can dip darts in it. They would use their little darts like arrows,
arrowheads.
And they would dip it in this poison on the frog's skin, and then they can hit another person or an animal, and it will subdue that.
Or like
person,
a blow dart.
Yeah. If it's like a smaller animal, it'll kill that animal. I think they're quite toxic. Well, the thing is, if you were to eat it, it probably wouldn't kill you. In her state, it definitely probably would have killed her.
Wouldn't have been a good choice.
Yeah. But that was towards the end of her journey, and she got really hungry then. But like,
sorry if you can hear the roosters.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like right now. It's like 4 PM, and they're like,
they're really out to party right now. I don't know what's up with them.
You always expect, because the cartoons are like old TV shows, they show roosters
6 a.m. sharp.
These guys, they're sleeping in, dude. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Texas roosters. Going on with Juliane, she is, she's got to figure out something to survive. Mm-hmm. She goes, well, here's some water. She found like a little, like, not even a creek. It was like barely anything. But she's smart enough, and she has enough experience with the rainforest. She goes, well, this tiny little nothing is going to lead to something bigger. It's coming from somewhere, right? So she follows it upstream, gets to like a creek, follows that creek up to a river. Or not even a river. It's like a bigger creek, I guess. I'm not sure what you call it. And she followed that along. And she came across a ton of crocodiles.
I'm sure.
They swam really close to her and then would dive in and kind of like dip away. She said they kept doing that.
Interesting.
She said she wasn't worried about them. Probably because she actually had a lot of experience with them. She had a lot of experience with all the animals there.
And thank God for it. I mean, Jesus.
She said she wouldn't have survived otherwise.
I'm sure not. Yeah. Who the fuck would?
Nobody did. She was the only survivor out of 92 people. And according to the Wikipedia, 14 people survived the crash.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. There's evidence that 14 people survived the crash.
The initial crash.
The initial crash of the plane, and then died trying to get help.
Survive.
Yeah,
okay.
just survive the wilderness. So probably the only reason she survived is because she had such extensive
Absolutely, yeah.
experience with the rainforest, even at such a young age. Yeah, so she said she had a walking stick as she's walking through the water, trudging through.
Sure.
And she's like stabbing at the water in front of her just in case there's a stingray. That's what she was really worried about.
She didn't want to get barbed or...
Right. Because the poison stingrays can kill you.
Right.
That's what happened to Steve Irwin, right? Although I think he got caught in the heart. I'm going to kind of like skip ahead quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
She had a terrible time. She almost died, obviously. She almost starved to death. She was drinking a lot of water that, I mean, obviously she was smart enough to figure out how to get clean water out of it.
Cleaner.
Sure. Like you're skimming the top and making sure it's water that's moving, right? Because sediment will travel along the bottom. Right. She definitely found like chunks of the plane and stuff like that, right?
I'm sure.
All over the place.
I'm sure, yeah.
Those chunks are still out there probably today because nobody ever went and got them.
This was Peru, right?
Yeah. The only thing that people got were the bodies. So the bodies over the course of the next like year, right? She actually, once she was saved, she went back and helped them locate the crash site so they could locate bodies. Wow. They did find her mom about 3 weeks later, her body. So she basically wandered and wandered and wandered and started to get more and more delirium, right?
Sure.
And it came to a point where she was crawling on all fours, barely able to even move. I'm going to chase the cat away. Get out of here.
Point of shame.
Point. Shame. Okay, that's enough. So she's like meandering about, walking along the water. She's very lost. She's been wandering for about 10 days, right? 11 days. And had she actually gone the other direction, she would have found civilization in about 2 days.
Shit.
Yeah, so she had gone, because I mean, like, it could have been either way. She went upstream, which is smart to go upstream, but like, they also could have been downstream from her. In this case, they were. Also, if you look at this, like, river that she's walking along, it is very windy. If she had the ability to just go straight through, it wouldn't have taken anywhere near as long, right?
Sure, but it was smart of her to stick right along the river so that she didn't get turned around. Right,
because if you don't know, if you're ever lost in the woods, or if you're ever like lost somewhere you don't know where you're at, towns, cities, people, they gather around water, right? So if you just follow up or downstream, don't go back and forth, just pick one and go. Eventually you are likely to find somebody, right? Yeah. And she did. So she said she was like wandering, and then it was like all of a sudden she sort of like woke up and realized there was like a path, like a man-made path. And so she started walking towards it, and there were like steps that were carved out of the dirt. And she, by the time she got to those steps, couldn't get up them. She said it took her hours to crawl up those steps.
Sure. I mean, she was incredibly weak, injured.
What caused her to like kind of come out of it? She saw a canoe or like a boat. She saw a boat and she looked around for the owners.
Sure.
Right. So she gets up the steps. This guy finds her. It's actually 3 guys that find her. I think they were lumber workers.
Oh, sure.
I think
cutting down the rainforest.
Well, I don't think they were like cutting down the rainforest so much. I think they were just like kind of indigenous to the area.
Okay.
But they were like worked with lumber. They were the people who built the boat, right? By the way, the whole purpose of her parents' like ecological site was not only to conserve animals, but also to conserve the rainforest. That's what they do today. They conserve animals. They have a huge like catalog of taxidermied species of butterflies, birds, other animals in the area, but they also have they do rainforest conservation as well.
And Dad is still alive, presumably, still right?
Alive, okay. Well, Dad's gone now, but
sure, but at this time he was alive. He was still.
So these 3 guys find her. They basically put her in a boat and bring her to a nearby location where they actually have access to like a helicopter or something.
Oh, cool. Good.
And they basically flew her out to get help, right? And she survived.
I bet that was a wild fucking moment for her.
Yeah. She said she thought the guy was an angel. when he showed up. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Importantly, other people thought something was really wrong with her. Obviously, they saw her eyes, and a lot of villagers fled. They thought she was sick with something.
Well, she probably was.
She said her eyes were so bloodshot that they thought she was like sick with something. She wasn't sick. She was concussed and had the swollen eyes.
Deeply concussed. Yeah. Was she sleeping and stuff? Like, what do we know about that?
I don't know. I think she was just in and out of consciousness. So I don't know that she ever actually like slept properly.
Jeez, dude.
You're kind of in survival mode, so I guess you're just like you're wandering until you get to something safe.
Yeah.
So she said she wasn't really worried about many of her wounds, but she was really worried about the one on the back of her arm. Mm-hmm. Because by just prior to them finding her, she had noticed botflies had laid maggots in her arm.
Of course they did, but ugh.
But she ended up making a full recovery.
Good for her.
Completely recovered.
Good for her.
And then went on to become a mammologist and specialized in bats.
Very cool.
In that rainforest. So despite everything she had been through, she still gets on planes. She got in even more planes. And
at that point, it's like...
Never with that airline again.
No.
However, in the documentary, and you can tell... So this documentary is a bit old. It's in the 90s. You can tell it is a relic of that time. Because the producers definitely were putting her through stuff that I would not put her through.
Oh, like having her recount really traumatic events and stuff?
Well, and it's like, that's the purpose of the documentary.
To an extent, right? Sure.
But like, they did stuff like, oh, let's get you on a plane to Peru.
No.
So it's like, and she's been on planes.
Sure,
and been to Peru. It's fine. But they're like, let's get you on a plane to Peru. Here's the very seat you sat in. Right? And they have her sit in the same seat. She's like staring at, you can see there's a little bit of like dead stare in the eyes, like definitely some coping mechanisms happening. But at least it's obvious to me. I know because I've gone through it, but this
is a documentary that she wanted to participate in.
Yes. Okay. Because she wanted to, because at this point she had been so sick of how media was portraying her situation for years now. Including one movie that she makes fun of it in the documentary. She's like, it's really ridiculous. She's portrayed by, I think, an American woman or possibly a British woman who's like, sees snakes and, and alligators, and she's like, yeah, it definitely wasn't that, no. There were parts where she was really out of it from the concussion, but for the most part, she was like,
clearly with it enough to survive that.
Well, she was a survivalist because she had grown up there, so she knew how to go through the environment. It was really just towards the end that she was like, really kind of helpless because at that point she hadn't eaten anything other than like and the slightest amount of food she had found.
Clearly was fighting multiple infections.
And then drinking the water, which I don't know, who knows what that, it might have been fine because, she knows the area.
Maybe.
Well, it's not like early humans didn't drink that water. So it's like, we figure it out.
I guess that's true.
There was this point in the documentary, even though it was like, she had a huge part in telling her own story, you could tell that the producers were like making choices that were like, for instance, they were like, had she even had just a lighter and a machete, it would have been so much easier for her to survive this. And then they were showing an indigenous guy holding a lighter and a machete and staring at the camera confused. He's like, I don't know why you handed me this. It's just really ridiculous, some of the choices that they were making.
God bless.
But it is a good documentary. I do highly recommend it. We should watch it.
Sure.
You'll get a laugh at some of the stuff, but a lot of it's really sad, Obviously, her mom died. That was really traumatic, especially because she was so close to her mom, too.
Of course.
Her mom even said, shoot, yeah, we'll make sure you graduate and you get to walk and do your ceremony, and then we'll go on the trip the day before Christmas. Her mom was like really her best friend in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
To go through like the worst moment of your life and then also have your closest person abruptly ripped from you in that moment.
That's terrible. It's traumatizing on so many levels, I'm sure.
So very shortly after she was rescued, she had to go back out to help them locate the site. 30-ish years later, basically, they tried to contact the people that rescued her. And 2 of the guys had died by then.
Oh, wow.
But they found one of them. And he helped them find the location where the plane crash bits, the debris was still there.
Mm-hmm.
It was so thick that they basically chopped down just enough trees to make a clearing for a helicopter, and that was it.
Wow.
So they brought their helicopter in with Juliana, and Juliana went through, looked at the debris, picked at it. Parts of the rug that was on the plane are like grown into the ground.
That's wild.
It's really like creepy. They found like part of the console from the cockpit.
Did they ever find the black box?
Oh, they found that a long time ago. Because that's the part you actually look for.
Did they figure out? Well, I guess we.
That's how they figured out. That's how they figured out she had dropped about 10,000 feet since the plane disintegrated.
Got it.
She was, I believe, in a window seat, and so it was like this piece of the plane where the window is and the wall, kind of, is the thing that was like helicoptering. Right? It was kind of like they said it acted probably like a little bit like a parachute.
Sure.
So the guy that helped them, right, shortly after finding the site, he actually got stung by a stingray in the foot.
Oh, really?
While he was trudging that water. And he almost died. He actually was stuck out there with his messed up foot for 3 days.
Oh, jeez.
And he was just laying there for like 2.5 days before somebody found him. These people, I think they were hunters or something, they found him and they were in their boat. And he's like, please help me. And they're like, do you have any money? And he said, no. And they're like, we're not going to help you.
What?
And he's like, well, I have a shotgun. You can have my shotgun, I guess. And they're like, all right, we'll take your shotgun and we'll bring you back home.
Later, sucker.
Right. No, they took a shotgun. They brought him home.
Okay. It would have been messed up if they took a shotgun and then just left.
Juliana made it a point to go find those guys and buy his shotgun back from them and bring it back to him as a gift. Yeah. So, but it was really nice to see them get reunited because he was really happy to see her. And his family were like, oh, crap, it's her,
Sure.
Okay, so here, her autobiography, I highly recommend you read it. There is an English translation. I found it through Hoopla, through my library. So also a huge shout out to public libraries. Thank you, public libraries. You're the best thing ever. When I Fell from the Sky, How the Jungle Gave Me My Life Back. I do want to mention in the book and in the documentary, she talks about this. So the way it was portrayed in the media was that she survived the jungle from hell. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's how anybody else who is like really ignorant to the jungle would see it. It's like, oh, the snakes and the alligators. No, it's so, and the mosquitoes. She did say she almost got eaten alive by the mosquitoes during.
Oh, I'm sure, especially with all the open wounds.
When it wasn't raining, and it was also raining a lot, right? Which is another issue. But
that may have also been a saving grace to some degree.
That's what she said. So, and it wasn't just the rain that was a saving grace. Literally, the whole jungle was a saving grace to her because she knew how to navigate it.
Yep.
She was, the jungle. It was the jungle's canopy and the mud that saved her from the fall.
Yep.
Right. She was able to get fresh water or drink potable water. Right. She knew the jungle's like habitats and how to get to civilization. Eventually, she did survive it. She attributed her survival to the jungle.
Sure.
Right. I wanted to find you a couple other things. Oh, Wings of Hope. Wings of Hope is the name of the documentary. It is 1998. Is Wings of Hope.
Okay.
Oh, the person who filmed the documentary actually was there around that same time and almost was on that plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The reason he didn't get on that plane had to do with he was shooting a movie and there was like some kind of something that happened that caused him to have to get on a different plane later. But he had almost been on that plane, and had he been on that plane, he would have died. He ended up being the director of Wings of Hope, which is or the producer of Wings of Hope.
That's interesting.
He was working on a movie about conquistadors looking for, what is it? El Dorado, right?
Sweet.
In that location.
Sweet.
I don't really know what I have other than that. That's basically the gist. There's a lot more to it. Go hear it from her own words. It's a pretty wild story. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a really wild story. I can't imagine being in that situation.
If you have any questions, I'll try to answer, but I don't know how much I remember.
I mean, I wanted to know more about like what was up with Dad. Like, did he go ahead of them, or like why wasn't he on the plane with them?
Yeah, I think Dad was already there, I believe. Because I think Dad had left at the time that they had all originally planned to leave. Also,
not to point fingers at Dad or anything, but when they didn't arrive 11 days after, like, wasn't he like,
Well, yeah, I think, no, because I think he knew.
I mean, Peru's like...
It's decent sized.
Yeah, but it's not that big.
No, but traveling from Germany?
Sure, traveling from
They could have been,
sure.
like, it could have been anywhere. It wasn't until they found her that she was able to bring them back to the site.
Well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the documentary. I think that'd be concept of like somebody like a plane crash happening and then being stranded in a rainforest thing is definitely one that's been used a lot since then. I'm picturing like the show Lost and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think her story has been so, and people explicitly said this is the story of Juliane Koepcke, right? And or sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I really don't mean to. But she basically said, you know what, let's just do this and get the right story out there. Fuck.
We're good at this.
We need to get our shit together. Say it in the mic. Say it in both mics.
We need to get our shit together.
Get it together. We're going to try that one more time.
Yep. Run it back.
Here's where things get weird.
The squeakquel.
The squeakquel. What the fuck? Okay. Just really briefly before we get into Harmony's stories.
You government named me.
Harm Alarm's stories. Juliane Koepcke's got this, her family had this conservation that they had made in Peru. And, she earned her degree in biology, studying mammalogy. Her focus was in bats. She studied about 50 species of bat, most of which she helped identify. Right? Bat? Anyway, the reason I was bringing this up is because I'll probably be sharing some of her photos. We have now, thanks to Harmony, a Instagram account for Here's Where Things Get Weird. So find us on there. There's not much up on it right now, but
by the time we post this episode, there should be stuff on there. Thanks for sharing her story. That was really interesting.
Yeah, I did my best. Juliane, on the off chance you see this, and I very much doubt you ever will hear it.
I hope.
I am so sorry if I got anything wrong. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm sorry for not knowing enough about your family. I'm still reading your book. Please forgive me. Your story is pretty amazing. You're an amazing person. I especially I have my degree in psychology, but I also studied biology. I minored in biology. And anybody who knows me knows that all of my work is in biology too. I have 10 years of experience in neuroscience research, right?
That's true.
Studying in mice, most of it, some of it in humans. It's like olfactory, spinal cord injury, stem cell research with neuropsychiatric conditions. So I love biology. Right?
Yep. You also famously, not to undercut any of that, were basically a survivalist in the forest for a while.
That's true. I did survive about 3 months in the forest out in the middle of nowhere in Montana.
When you were probably around the same age.
Yeah, I was actually 17. Yeah, but luckily I hadn't survived a plane crash and then done it.
That's true.
It'd be a lot harder to do that as fully concussed as possible. And with maggots eating my arm. Sorry to bring that up. But yeah, I've definitely had my own share of experiences. But I still can't imagine what that must have been like.
No, I don't think anybody could. I mean, what a unique and truly bananas experience.
Next. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Now, with that, my stories that I'm going to share today. So, for those who don't know, I don't really share. I've been on the internet sharing things about myself for the last 5 or 6 years. But I have really not talked a lot about a lot of my more niche hobbies because I like to keep some things for myself. I like to have some things where it's just for me and I don't feel compelled to make content about it.
It's sacred.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. That's important. That's what ruins a lot of things for me is that I tend to want to share too much. Mm-hmm. And it can be a good thing to share the stuff that you're doing, but sometimes, it burns you out.
It definitely can. It definitely can. But anyway, one of my things that I've been interested in my whole life is weather and extreme weather. And I know that's very...
It's fun. It's fun.
That's very old man of me, but
it's fun being neurodivergent and having a wife who likes to talk about the weather.
It feels like small talk, but let me tell you,
it's not.
It's not.
No, it's crazy.
It's deep. It's deep nerd shit.
It's deeply scientific nerd shit, and my eyes will gloss over sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yep. Well, okay. Something else about me too is I have a bachelor's degree in sociology. I spent some time going to school for social work. Didn't end up finishing my program, but the point being, my interests are typically geared toward telling human stories and understanding why people do things and how society and people's environments impact them. And that goes hand in hand with weather, especially like severe weather events, because
you really wouldn't like think that right off the bat,
but it totally does.
It absolutely does, because weather shapes your environment, and your environment shapes society.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen a lot of videos come up in my social media lately of like British people losing their mind when they find out what weather is like here.
Yeah. No,
I had no idea.
I think a lot of people outside of the US, even people in the US, I think don't really realize that like tornadoes and stuff are not common elsewhere in the world. Like they happen occasionally other places in the world, but they're quite common here in the US. There's a reason
God is wrathful here, okay?
Well, and then I'm not going to get too far into the weeds on this. I do want to do a whole episode on it, but anyway, my topic today is related to people surviving tornadoes.
Yep.
Yes. So, I'm excited to talk about this, not because
Harm loves tornadoes.
I don't love tornadoes. Nobody loves tornadoes, okay? Nobody, not even people who chase tornadoes love tornadoes. They're fascinating. They're really important to study because they impact so many people, and they can be deadly. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
So the more that we understand about them, the better we can prepare people and warn them, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. Harm knows this. I've been through a ton of natural disasters. I've lived through too many things, and I hate it. God, I'm sorry. Whatever I did. Also, can we calm down?
That reminds me of some years back, people on the internet were arguing about like what was the proper way to receive God's wrath, and Midwestern people are like,
Nader.
Tornadoes are the correct way to receive God's wrath.
They really are. They're terrifying.
Yeah, they're really scary.
I've survived 2 tornadoes in Montana, which is not a place that normally gets them.
Would you like to talk about that at all?
Just very briefly.
Okay.
So I remember when I was a kid, me and my friends were at our friend's trailer out in the middle of nowhere, Montana. It's Shepherd, Montana. It's literally nowhere. And we didn't even know what was going on because we didn't even have access to TV. We had like barely even basic cable, and it didn't work very good. And it was just like hot or sweaty. We play Xbox. That's it. That's our lives. Peak. And I remember the weather getting really bad for a second, and then the trailer like shaking. And I thought the roof was going to come off. And then it stopped. It was very brief. It didn't last very long. When we went outside, the fence, which was like a 9-foot tall privacy fence, not very normal for like where trailers are, but this little area, it was common. They just had those. People like their privacy in Montana. This fence had been pulled up out of my friend's yard and like put through the trailer next door, which luckily that guy was like gone. He was, I think, on vacation or something.
So were you in a trailer at the time?
We were in my friend's trailer.
Okay.
The one that had the fence that got pulled up.
Okay.
So then that fence got carried and slammed, like cut the other trailer in half.
Okay.
It's fucking bananas.
So you were probably in the updraft of the tornado rather than in the tornado itself.
No idea. I don't know much about tornadoes. Yeah, it probably just got really close to us. That was one time. And then another time, I was an adult. I think it was about 21. Somewhere 2021. I think it was 21. And I was rock climbing. By the way, when I say rock climbing, I mean without gear, not doing it safely. Just a thing that Montanans do because...
Free climbing.
No training, by the way. 0 training. People in Billings, Montana, because it's kind of like a caldera or something.
Yeah, you're in a big bowl.
Yeah,
there's cities at the bottom.
You have the rim rocks, right, that go around the city, and then the airport's on top. And so you can pretty much, if you're in the city of Billings, you can pretty much walk any direction long enough, and you'll get to this rim rock wall that you can just start climbing up. It's all sandstone. And it's fairly easy to climb without gear, but it's also very dangerous. I've had friends fall,
Especially sandstone can kind of like crumble.
It does. Oh my God, dude. There's been times where I've reached up, grab a ledge, and it's just loose sand. It's not even like it breaks off. It's like a loose sand. Oof. And you're just like, because you'll just slip.
Yeah. Yep. It's scary.
It's terrifying. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Jeremy. Remember when you slipped off and fell backwards and rolled down? Holy crap.
Have you done a welfare check on Jeremy lately?
Jeremy's great.
That's good.
Love you, Jeremy. Love you, Ethan. So I'm rock climbing. It starts raining. It's already slippery, right? I don't need it to become mud, too. Mm-hmm. So I get down as quickly as possible. Run to the car. Can't find the keys. Where are the keys? Well, they're somewhere up in the rocks. So I have to go, while it's starting to pour, run back up, find the keys. We find them. We get in the car. We try to beat the storm. Mm-hmm. No idea it's a tornado. Nobody in Billings has any idea that there's a tornado.
You guys didn't have like tornado sirens or anything?
No, we don't get tornadoes. It's like that happened once 15 years ago. It's not going to happen again, right? Mm-hmm. I think there was an alarm. I don't really remember. But like it didn't happen yet, if anything. We get in the car. We're like, all right, guess our climbing trip is over because it's raining. It's dumping rain. Now it's like, it was sprinkling. Now it's dumping rain. Mm-hmm. We're like, all right, time to go back home. We get in our car. We start driving back home to Lockwood, if anybody wants to know. If you're from Lockwood, I'm sorry. And we beat the storm. We're like ahead of it. The rain's behind us, right? So we get to this little gas station. It's like a Casey's Corner store or some shit. I thought the weather was fine. It was actually like sunny. It looked fine.
That's a red flag.
Is it?
Yes.
So it looked completely fine. We're like, oh, I guess we beat the rain. And we go inside. We're going to grab some like snacks, right? Mm-hmm. We're grabbing like candy bars, bags of chips or whatever. All of a sudden the power goes out of nowhere. And it starts dumping rain everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I can't buy anything. So I go to sit in the car. And when I leave the store, I'm getting pelted with hail from every direction, like up even, like hitting me in the face. And I'm like, geez, what the hell is that? This came out of nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. And I get in the car and then I get a call on the phone. And it's, a person I know who's like, hey, where are you? You need to get home. And I'm like, why? Oh, there's a tornado and it's near the metro area. I'm in that area. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see any fucking tornado. And I look up and the tornado is up above my head coming down. It's literally right there. And I was like, oh shit. I went and grabbed my friend who was still inside. I'm like, we have to go. There is a tornado up there.
Just as an aside, don't do that. If you're in a situation where you're in a gas station or a well-built structure and there's a tornado on you, descending down upon you, do not leave that structure. Stay in it and get away from the windows.
The whole structure is windows. It doesn't matter.
You're still better.
I had no idea. I'm 21 and stupid.
It's fine.
I'm like, I'm going to outrun this thing. I only just recently learned you shouldn't do that. I don't know anything about tornadoes. Here's my wife who grew up kind of like...
I grew up in...
Not quite Tornado Alley, but like...
I grew up in Weld County, Colorado, which at least at the time that I last looked it up several years ago, was the county that gets the most tornadoes out of everywhere in the U.S. I don't know if that's still true. Jesus. Tornado Alley has been moving east over the last 10, 15 years. Not big tornadoes, typically small ones, but still. So I am very familiar with having a tornado watch / tornado warning basically every afternoon in the summer for a lot of my formative years. Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
That being said, I don't have that kind of... I had like an experience...
It was unusual in Billings.
Yeah, I had an experience with a tornado in Shepherd that I didn't even know happened until like well after it happened. And then again, this was happening and I didn't know it until it was like well into the moment it was happening. Mm-hmm. We got in our car, started driving, lightning striking from every direction. It was terrifying. Mm-hmm. We survived it. The tornado ended up taking a different direction, took out the Rimrock Auto Arena completely. Huge arena. Yikes. Gone. And a tiny little store right next to it. Also gone.
I want to look into this. I'm curious what the rating was. And
I have no idea. It didn't go very far. It went up into the heights and then stopped. It was like touchdown and then...
Whoever owns that arena had
they rebuilt that arena.
God off.
Yeah, maybe. I'd heard some stories, but I don't know what's true, and I'm not going to delve into that.
What does that mean?
Just that the owner was not very liked. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. I'm not going to delve into it. Anyway, I've talked through your segment long enough.
Yeah, here's the thing. We have to go pick up our groceries in 20 minutes.
Okay.
We had 2 hours when we first started.
If there's one thing about me, it's that I can talk forever.
You can be very long-winded, and I love you dearly.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna at least talk about the first portion of my story here, which is a guy who was nicknamed the Mudman from Topeka, Kansas. Can you guess why?
You like mud.
You don't like mud.
Well, I don't know. Why is he called the Mudman? It better not be a racist reason.
No, good grief.
I don't know.
Good grief. I wouldn't include a racist nickname. Not on purpose.
I don't know.
Good grief. All right, anyway. Topeka, Kansas. June 8th, 1966. Just before 7 p.m., talk of a massive wedge tornado heading northeast toward Topeka, Kansas, reached trained 19-year-old storm spotter and amateur reporter Rick Douglas.
Is this the Mudman?
Yes.
Okay. Mudman Rick Douglas.
Douglas,
Sorry, premature.
He was just Rick at this time.
Just Rick.
Douglas saw reporting on the storm as a way to get him an edge in the highly competitive field at that time of reporting. So he set out for the highest peak in Topeka, which is called Burnett's Mound.
Peak Topeka?
Peak Topeka. Burnett's Mound. Now, Burnett's Mound has a little bit of backstory that I am going to share. It's named after the Potawatomi chief Abram B. Burnett. At that point, in 1966, it was the highest point in town, and therefore would give Douglas the best vantage point to see any incoming storm. Burnett's Mound also holds cultural significance for the Potawatomi tribe. Without getting too deep into that, there's stories that have been passed down about how the mound itself is thought to protect the low-lying city of Topeka from incoming tornadoes. There is a reason for that. The mound is located on the southwest side of the city, and it's quite tall, and the rest of the city is very flat. So the way that most tornadoes track is northeast. Mm-hmm. So typically, if you've ever looked at a radar, you see like little blobs of storms moving, they'll kind of drift east and north. So if the mound is at the southwest side of the city, it will, in theory, kind of intercept anything coming into the city weather-wise.
Do you know why stuff moves that way?
I don't know enough about it.
Airstreams or something?
I don't know enough about it, to be honest. I need to do more research on that.
I did notice that, but I've never actually thought to ask why.
Now, I need to do more research on the actual atmospheric science side of things. There's that. Now, that being said, the mound itself on the ground is not going to do anything to intercept something in the sky. Mm-hmm. It's just not tall enough to actually have any kind of scientific barrier. However, as told by, I'm going to try to pronounce this name, Whiskey Amatuk. Whiskey Amatuk, a holy man of the Potawatomi tribe. He tells a story about how long ago there was a large tornado that quickly swept through present-day Topeka and left hundreds of his people dead, as well as their cattle and their horses and just...
Hundreds?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That's rough,
if
man.
you have no warning that it's going to happen, it just comes out of nowhere.
I mean, that's basically, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying studying atmospheric science is really important.
It really does come out of nowhere too. If you're not expecting it, it's like, oh, it's raining. It does all the time. And then all of a sudden, bam, tornado.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a brief direct quote here from whiskeyamatuk.com.
Okay.
This is a direct quote. It was always told by the Chief Burnett that the mound must not be disturbed because it was a sacred place watched over by the Great Spirit, and those who have passed on must always be respected. The people of Kansas believed that by respecting the chief's wishes that the mound would protect the city of Topeka from the devastating power of tornadoes. In 1960, Chief Burnett's mound was disturbed with construction 1960. At its base,
never listen.
For an interstate bypass. They built an interstate through it. And then on top of the mound itself, right at the top, they put a big, ugly water tower. So, did not respect his wishes, and 6 years later, I'm not saying they deserved it. I'm saying
if you mess with shit that ain't yours,
no. Nobody deserves what happened to the people in the wake of this tornado. However,
but still.
Disrespecting this man's wishes probably wasn't the best choice. That's all I'm saying. All right. Anyway, yeah, they put a 5 million gallon steel drum reservoir water tank on top of the mound.
I mean, that's asking for trouble anyway.
And then they started to really build in around the mound after that. So anyway.
So they really did not give a shit about this mound.
They held off with building for like a bit, but they really didn't for that long. So... Nice. I'm sure the Potawatomi people are not super pleased with that. But
probably not stoked, no.
Probably not stoked. This big ugly water tower right at the top of the mound has been there about 6 years by the time our man Rick Douglas, 19-year-old kid, drives up to the top of the mound to try to get a look at this tornado that's incoming.
Okay.
Now, he's
on top of the mound.
He drives up the switchbacks up to the top of the mound.
Okay.
He's up there. He's looking. All right?
He's not up on the tower.
He's not up on the tower, as far as I know, but he is up on the mound.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, I do just want to throw out there, it might seem kind of obvious when I say it, but at this time in the 60s, weather spotters were really important to events like this and to weather in general, because radar and stuff wasn't nearly as developed as it is now, for one. Mm-hmm. Of course, the internet wasn't there to... spread the word about weather events. That so much more of that whole process of forecasting and just spreading awareness about things was done with human eyes in the moment. So he was a weather spotter, very important to this whole thing. Okay. When he gets up there, he immediately sees something that he had never seen before in his whole life. A massive wedge-shaped tornado.
What is wedge-shaped? What does that mean?
So a wedge-shaped tornado. I'm going to pull up this exact tornado because there are pictures of it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
From the 60s.
This is actually a very well-documented tornado. There are lots of photographs of the damage and stuff afterwards, too.
We'll have to share those on the Instagram.
This is a picture from the National Weather Service website. So he gets up to the top of this mound and he sees this bad boy cruising.
That's horrifying. This is literally the scariest thing.
Now, what's even scarier is he gets up there, he stares at it for over a minute, and he's just taking it in, and he's trying to figure out which direction it's moving.
Uh-huh.
And he's confused because the tornado looks stationary from his vantage point.
Which means it's coming right at him.
Yes. And so he's processing this for a second and is like, oh. I gotta get out of here.
It's getting bigger for some reason.
So...
He did what you shouldn't do, just to try to run from it.
Well...
See, they tell you shouldn't run from a tornado because you're supposed to face your fears.
No.
I'm not.
That is not why they say that.
Don't quote.
Don't listen to Jackie. Okay. So anyway, he was confused. So the tornado seemed almost stationary. So what he does is he gets back in his car, and now he can't just skedaddle. He's got to go down these switchback hills. It's going to take him a minute to get down.
I wouldn't. I'd be off-roading. Get me out of here, dude.
So he's taking his car down. Meanwhile, as he's driving, he has his radio. He's radioing. Yes.
Radio.
He is radioing in to the news station that he's associated with. Tornado sighting. Take cover in the southwest side of Topeka right now.
Gotcha.
As he finally reaches the bottom of the mound, he's scrambling. He's looking for shelter because this thing is chugging behind him. He approaches the I-75 overpass, which is kind of right as you're getting into town. And he does something else that I also would not recommend. He jumps out of his car and tries to get under the overpass. There are reasons why you should try to avoid getting under an overpass in a tornado situation. A lot of that is because it can create a wind tunnel. And not only...
Will that, like, scoop you up or what?
It could, but in addition to that, if there's debris that the tornado has picked up...
it'll like a gun.
Yes.
Ugh.
So it's very dangerous. So
God.
Generally speaking, not a safe place to be during a tornado. You're better off getting as low as you can into a ditch. Getting out of his car was fine. Getting under the overpass, I wouldn't recommend.
So should you just, like, try to... What if you're, like, out in a field?
If you're out in a field, you lay flat and you protect your head. If you can get any amount, like, just a foot below the ground or whatever, that's better than nothing.
Over you or...
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Protect your head. That's all that you can really do.
Protect your head. Protect your neck.
Protect your neck. So he reaches the bottom of the overpass. He gets out of his car. He tries to hide under the overpass. Mm-hmm. Tornado sweeps him up. He is shot 100 feet into the air. He remembers staying suspended in the air for over 30 seconds. He is just in there for 30 seconds. Just...
I'm picturing, like, Wizard of Oz. Like,
yeah, I mean, basically, the cow going around. That's him.
Yeah.
That's this guy. So after that, he says everything went dark.
Did he black out? Like, what?
Well, yeah.
Ugh, that's...
meanwhile...
That's just scary as heck.
Meanwhile, the now half-mile wide tornado.
Half a mile?
Half a mile wide. That's a big boy tornado. That's a big boy tornado.
That's a big boy.
It is tearing its way through the city of Topeka, and it takes a direct route through the heart of the city.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
When you say, like, a half a mile, what does that mean? Like, how are you measuring it? Do you know? I don't know.
They measure it based on the damage afterwards. You can actually see where a tornado has been because of the damage that it does. So they can measure how far across that path is after the fact.
All right. Okay. Got it.
Along
I don't know if, like,
things.
there's a guy with a tape measure who's just, like, kind of eyeballing it, you know?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the surveying process looks like, but I know...
Just hold it up and I'll count it.
I'll eyeball it. It's tearing right through the center of town. And it hits high-rise buildings. It hits entire city blocks.
Just going through the center of town is, like, the worst thing a tornado can do.
It goes diagonal through the whole...
Diagonal?
Well, yeah, it comes in at the southwest, exits at the northeast.
That tornado was an asshole.
I know, it's rude.
That was messed up, man.
It was on the ground for over 34 minutes as it destroyed over 800 homes. And when I say destroyed, I mean...
Obliterated.
I mean gone. So it decimated 800 homes and damaged thousands more. 3,000 more homes took
3,800 homes. And the 800 are gone completely.
Yep. About 20 minutes after being hurled into the air. So while the tornado was still chugging along for another, probably 10 minutes or so at that point, Douglas wakes up. He notices he's in a ditch. He's caked in mud.
Yeah.
Just head to toe in mud. And he's over a block away from where he started under the overpass. So it picked him up, popped him up into the air. He splatted into a muddy ditch a block away.
I'm glad he survived. Oh, God, dude. That's so scary.
Yeah. We would later find out that the tornado claimed 17 lives, which is devastating, obviously, but thankfully, considering the direct path it took.
For how many houses it obliterated, that's not too bad.
It's not as bad as it could have been, certainly.
I saw a comedian talking the other day, and she was like, I can't remember who it was. I just saw, like, a quick clip on the internet, and she's like, you know who I don't want to be is the one person who died. If there's a natural disaster, I kind of want it to be a bunch of people. If I'm going to die, I want a bunch of people to die with me, because you don't want to be like the one person that died and it's like, oh, this tornado went through this middle of town. Only one person died, and everybody's like, that's not
it was
so bad.
Jessica.
That's not so bad. Oh, it could have been worse. And it's like, yeah, but I died.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, it's awful. It's awful.
It's terrible, yeah.
17 lives is a lot of lost lives. Over 500 people were injured.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got hurt.
That's still less than the number of houses decimated, so...
Over 3,500 people were left homeless by the time the tornado finally lifted.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I'm glad, it seems like a lot of people were able to, get to safety, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, the people of Kansas, famously, as we know from The Wizard of Oz, they are no stranger to tornadoes. Douglas was rescued by EMS. I'm going to show you a picture of him. There's an iconic photo that has earned him the nickname the Mudman. This is him right after he got pulled out of that ditch.
He looks like a cryptid.
He looks like a cryptid.
This guy, he literally was caked. Just caked.
I'll put this on Instagram. But anyway, so there were rumors spread after this picture surfaced or was spread through the media that he died moments later and all these rumors and stuff. He did not. He did survive.
Ghost.
He did survive. He did recover.
Is he still alive?
No.
Oh.
As far as I know, no.
Oh, yeah, I guess this would have happened like forever ago.
He survived one of the most destructive tornadoes on record. For many years afterwards, he continued to find small bits of debris and shrapnel embedded in his skin.
I bet it was there forever. I mean, he's probably, in the coffin with it still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this tornado predated what we call the Fujima scale, developed by a man, Fujima. But it was post-dated later by the man himself, Fujima, to have been an F5 tornado, which is the highest possible rating that a tornado can currently have.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I don't understand anything about these ratings.
So it is based on sustained wind speed of the tornado. And the way that they identify that is they have very specific things that they look for, like the amount that metal has bent, what the type of metal is. They can do like different scientific calculations based on like what they're able to see damage-wise. And in fact, there can be massive, huge tornado that happens in an open field somewhere, but if there's no damage to any structures or any trees, you can't categorize it.
Do those, you showed me there were like planes. Do those do anything to help with that, or? Oh,
sure. The ones that go into hurricanes?
Yeah, I guess, I guess that's different, but yeah.
So it's a lot harder with tornadoes because tornadoes are much smaller. It's like a needle in a haystack.
No idea.
So tornadoes are a lot shorter lived than hurricanes. They are also obviously much smaller than hurricanes. And so we have storm chasers, people who try to intercept them and stuff. You watched the Twister movie with me. You remember kind of the premise of that movie is they had these barrels of things, sensors that they wanted the tornado to pick up for scientific purpose. There are real scientists out there who do things like that, who try to do things like that.
That has to be rad.
Very cool.
I bet that's like a really cool job.
Absolutely.
Probably terrifying though.
Absolutely, yeah. But anyway, it's a lot harder. It's just a lot harder to time.
Yeah, because they're so quick.
And they're
like, how do you get there?
And they don't take a perfectly linear path.
Mm-mm.
And there's so many factors. But anyway, so Fujima himself said that this was an F5 tornado. To be categorized as an F5, the winds have to be at least 200 miles per hour, which is 124 kilometers per hour if you're not a heathen American like me. This tornado had sustained winds around 300 miles per hour, which is 483 kilometers per hour, which blows the scale out of the water.
What's the speed of sound?
I don't know. 343 meters per second, 700 miles per hour.
Is that right?
It changes with air temperature.
That seemed higher than I was expecting. I don't know why. It's just that's so fast, though. 300 miles per hour?
It's very fast. It's fast enough that it can strip the bark off of trees. It can level well-built structures to their concrete foundation. It can rip sidewalks out of the ground. I mean, it's bananas how much damage an F5 tornado can
Proper wrath of God, really.
It's really scary. So, due to the direct path through the city and the strength of the tornado, the total cost of damage for Topeka was $100 million in 1966 money.
That's like $1 billion.
It is over $1 billion today.
Ugh.
It is one of the all-time costliest tornadoes in American history.
Well, yeah, because it literally went through town, taking the worst possible path through town.
It went right through the heart of the city. It's like, geez.
And diagonally, too. It's like, I can't just go down this main street and fuck up these. I'm going to go down Main Street, but also at an angle. Kind of like take everything.
So the last thing I'm going to do for this little mini story here, I watched a video, like, documentary on this. A YouTube channel is Sweegle Studios. I found a comment on there that I'm just going to quickly read. The commenter is Twiggy Keeley is their handle. They say, I'm a storm chaser of 12 years living in Kansas. My dad survived this tornado. My grandpa was finishing law school at Washburn, so they all lived near the Washburn campus. I think they may have lived on campus when the tornado was coming. They didn't really have a lot of time. So my grandpa got my dad and 2 uncles under a table and put his hands on the chimney and used his body to shield my 2 aunts. Suddenly, each brick individually started getting sucked up through the chimney, one by one. So my grandpa scooped up the kids and threw them down the cellar stairs. My dad looked up and just saw the sky. The entire house was lifted into the air, and they barely escaped with their lives. They never found most of the house. My poor dad had to go fight in Vietnam 2 years later. He really had a fascinating life. My dad died in 2017.
Wow, so recently.
Yeah, so if you can
Somewhat
just
recently.
imagine, big if true, and things like this do happen. You know, people survive tornadoes, they take a direct hit
I mean,
from
we
them.
just watched something like that happen just yesterday.
That's true. And the house just gets
gone.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, you know, it's like
piece
poof.
by piece.
It's just poof, like a cloud.
Yeah. So that's the Topeka, Kansas EF5. Really, really wild story.
Thanks for sharing that story with us.
Yeah. I have 2 more that I'm going to talk about when we come back. Later that same day.
It's been like 2 hours.
Something like that. We had to go pick up our groceries, but we are back. Okie dokie. We talked about Rick Douglas.
The Mudman.
The Mudman. Now we're going to move on to another tornado. This one is the Rainsville, Alabama EF5 tornado. It was part of the April 27th, 2011 mega outbreak, which I want to do a whole episode at some point on this day. It was really impactful. It was, in a lot of ways, unprecedented. Like, it's a whole thing. On this day, April 27th, 2011, 15 violent tornadoes struck towns across the American South and Midwest. That's not tornadoes in general. There were 109 tornadoes total on that day. Just 15 of them were giant and notable.
It just in North America or like all over the world?
Just in North America.
That's insane. Why are there so many tornadoes here?
I'd be happy to talk about it. I have to do research on it because I don't know all the details, but...
Why are so many people getting the wrath of God in God's country? Something
is weird about this country. I don't know. So many things are weird about this country, but... Alright, so we're in Alabama. This is a really impactful day. This has already been like a really impactful week of severe weather. So people in this area are like, they've been run ragged by these storms already.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so this is day 4 in a row of them getting hit by tornadoes.
They're just like, God, get it over with. Jeez.
Earlier that day, before this tornado hit, something called a QLCS system moved its way through.
What's that?
Or QLCS moved its way through.
QLCS.
So that means it stands for quasi-linear convective system. But basically what it means is a strong line of thunderstorms. A linear line of storms.
Somewhat linear.
Somewhat linear line of storms.
Quasi-linear.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually comes with a lot of winds, and typically these storms, when you look on radar, are kind of bowed.
Mm-hmm. That's the quasi, I'm guessing.
Presumably. I just work here.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anywho, so this line of storms comes through, and there's wind and hail, and it knocks out the power for about 250,000 people in northern Alabama.
Okay.
This is important because it not only knocks out the power, but it also knocks down a lot of the communication systems. So people don't have access to their cell phones.
Nice.
On this already really dangerous and really scary day.
Right.
That happens in like the morning hours of this day.
Does that affect your NOAA radio?
No, if you have a NOAA weather radio, you can still, well, it might. I mean, obviously if your local broadcasting station is down, if they don't have communications, then you might
does it
not.
have another way to get to you? I guess not.
I don't know.
I'm
not sure.
Somebody inform me. I'm ignorant to this stuff.
I'm not super sure about how the radio communications were on this day. From what it sounded like to me, a lot of things were being impacted. It was wave after wave of power outages, and the Birmingham metro area was one of the ones that was included in that. So all of these people in the dark as these big tornadoes were just raking across this area.
No way to look it up or get any updates. It's just happening over and over and over again. Jesus.
Can't even pop on your BlackBerry phone and, like, figure some stuff
BlackBerry, what's that?
So around 6 p.m., a tornado forms near the community of Geraldine, which is a very small town in northern Alabama.
It's a cool name.
Yeah. As it moves northeast into a very primed atmosphere. This atmosphere is juiced up, okay? It's got moisture. It's got something called CAPE, which is convective available potential energy.
Nerd stuff.
So it's moving into this real juicy spot, unfortunately. Now,
what is it? They call it nader juice?
Nader juice.
Is that what it is?
Colloquially.
Is that what that is?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I hear my wife say that sometimes. Yeah. I have no idea what that means.
Yep. So anywho, this tornado forms near Geraldine. As it continues on eastward, it approaches a small community called Shiloh in Alabama, and it starts running roughly parallel with State Route 75. It's right at this point that it reaches what they consider violent intensity.
Can you imagine driving down that? You're just like going down Route 75 and it's like, yeah, it's like.
But that's, okay, here's another thing. And I think this comes up in one of these stories that I have here. For those who aren't as familiar with, like, tornadoes in general, sometimes tornadoes will move really slowly. Sometimes they'll move like a couple miles an hour. But a lot of times tornadoes will be going like 50 or 60 miles an hour, meaning they're moving like, like highway speeds.
Was it that last one you were talking about? Or was that a different time?
I can't remember, but in
something was going 60
in one of these stories, one of these tornadoes is moving 60 miles an hour, which is
it's like horrifying. A car driving on the interstate.
That's
like
horrifying.
Kind of slow.
And that's why
it's us.
And that's driving. Yeah, and that's part of why they say you can't outrun a tornado and you shouldn't try. Because you don't know how fast it's moving.
Do they go faster than that? What's the fastest tornado?
I don't know.
See, this is the kind of crap that I need you to
I will look into this, and I will do this. I will bundle this together in an episode for us.
I want to know
if that seems interesting to you.
I want to know, 1, what's the fastest tornado there's ever been? And 2, has there ever been multiple tornadoes, and can you make them race?
Of course there's been multiple tornadoes. That happens pretty often.
But can you make them race?
Make them race? No. You cannot make them race. Okay, so it's around this point where this tornado starts to reach violent intensity.
Okay, how do we define violent intensity?
There is a specific definition for it. Let me see if I can figure it out.
Sorry, I'm asking too many questions. I should just let you get to your point.
It's fine. I will happily do a whole episode on this. If it reaches EF4 or EF5 strength, it's considered violent. So that is wind speeds of, not food NATO. I would like to be in one of those.
A food NATO? What kind of food? It depends for me. If it's like ramen and it's really hot, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I would like ramen, but not in a hot tornado form.
That's fair. That's
more of a hurricane, I suppose.
That's reasonable.
But like peeps, a tornado of peeps, that's not so bad. I'd eat a couple and then I'd be full. But like you getting hit with them, it's not so bad. They're kind of pillowy, you know.
So this is on the National Weather Service website.
Okay.
It doesn't use the word violent specifically on here, but if we're going based off of an F4 status, which they have listed as a devastating tornado, that is a wind speed of at least 207 miles per hour.
Jeez.
I don't know what that is in kilometers. I'm sorry, but it's a lot.
Too many. It's too many kilometers.
It would be, here's what the description is on here. It's enough wind to level well-constructed homes. So that's not like a mobile home. That's like a
house.
Like a house.
Yeah.
Structures with weak foundations are blown off by some distance. Cars are thrown and large missiles generated. That's what the National Weather Service has for an F4 tornado. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah. Like, not only can the wind push your house over, but it'll also send a car flying at it as a missile.
Yeah. While we're here, I'll go ahead and read what an F5 tornado
That
is.
That sounds violent, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're here, I'll read what an F5 is so that we all have that in mind as we're listening to this situation here. So it's identified as an incredible tornado.
Just a lovely tornado. Beautiful.
Real incredible tornado.
Great job, tornado.
Good
Gold
grief.
star.
No.
Just hucking it
Bad.
off into
So that is a wind speed of 261 miles or more. They have it capped at 318.
That's too many miles.
I think that's the fastest observable wind speed in a tornado as of now.
It's too many.
It's way too many.
It's way too many miles.
Okay, so at that wind speed, strong frame houses are lifted off of foundations and carried considerable distances to disintegrate. Automobile-sized missiles fly through the air in excess of 100 meters.
Jeez.
Trees are debarked. Steel-reinforced concrete structures are badly damaged. So, really, really scary, serious stuff that we're talking about here, all right? Near the community of Shiloh, this tornado starts to reach that violent intensity where it's leveling houses, it's picking cars up and throwing them. This is happening.
Would you say it was like what was it, F4?
It's at least an F4 at this point.
An F4, okay.
So the tornado from there grows to roughly half a mile wide.
Right. Okay, right.
Okay. So if you remember from the story before, same size. As it moves out of Shiloh, it moves just east of the community of Rainsville. It sort of scrapes along the edge of this town. Rainsville is a very small town. It's about 5,000 people at this time. Unfortunately, the tornado tears a path right through the middle of a residential community. It hits the local shopping district, so their Walmart, their Dollar General. It hits that kind of stuff. It basically decimates the brick and stone high school. It was completely destroyed. Well-built homes in this area were stripped down to their concrete slabs, something that's sometimes referred to as slabbing. So
is that what that is?
Yep.
Not to be confused with dabbing.
So trees are debarked. At least one stone home was just decimated. Right. The worst of the damage was felt along Lingerfelt Road. And at its peak, the tornado that left a path of destruction through Rainsville reached wind speeds of well over 200 miles per hour, sustained. But at the core of the tornado, they think that there were wind gusts of up to 310 miles per hour. So the sustained winds is the constant wind speed, and then
with
big
some gusts. Okay.
So,
Terrifying.
I mean,
you're just like holding on at 200 miles an hour, and you're like, I can barely hold on, and then this big gust fucking takes you.
Yeah,
Bye.
awful.
Yeah.
There was a family here. I'm going to read some direct quotes from this article that I found on a local news website from the area. It's WAFF. This is an article dated April 29th, 2011, so just 2 days after this event happened.
Okay.
Scott and Angela Gilbert lived in their home for about 2.5 years, and they considered it sort of a safe haven for them and their 5 children. So there's 7 people in this home. That is until Wednesday afternoon, April 27th, around 6 p.m. They lost power from the first round of storms. They were part of that group that had no communications and stuff.
Okay.
But they did hear that another more dangerous round of storms was on the way. So they were at least aware that that was going to happen.
At least you have some warning.
Mm-hmm. Scott Gilbert says, I got my 5-year-old daughter, who was asleep. She was taking a nap on my shoulder. And my 6-month-old son.
That's so scary to have little babies.
5 kids.
Babies.
You got 5 kids. So he's got 5-year-old kid that he's holding. He has 6-month-old son as well in the other arm. He says, I ran out of the house as I was getting the others. My 11-year-old was helping me. I was running down to the front ravine. So listen, as I'm telling this story, from what I can deduce, these guys were living in a trailer or a modular home, which thankfully they were aware, clearly, was not a safe place for them to be in a tornado.
They're trying to get to somewhere.
They were trying to get somewhere safe. If you are somebody who lives in a modular home and you find yourself under a tornado warning, you gotta get out of there and be basically anywhere else. You are better off outside in a ditch than you are in that home, because it basically is a tin can and can turn into shrapnel.
Yeah, it's like living in a grenade.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
So luckily, these guys were aware that this was a problem. So he's got his kids. He's running outside. He says, I run down to the front ravine. There's a front creek there, and something told me on the inside, no, go back to the back creek. So he's got a creek in front of the house and one in the back. He goes to the back creek. He says, I switched directions and I ran to the back. My wife and my two of my kids were not out of the house yet, so I just kept hollering, go to the back creek and get out of the house. This is also from the same article. It says, based on preliminary reports from the National Weather Service, this was an EF4. We now know it was an EF5. The Gilbert's property, it was there. It was crossing their property as Angela, the wife, and two of the kids were making their way 75 yards to the back creek. So they could see the tornado. It was right behind them. They're running outside. I think this is Scott again. He says, I told my 11-year-old to jump in the creek. I knew he could swim. I wasn't for sure what we were going to do. But we got right on this creek bank. I put my 6-month-old son down, my 5-year-old daughter under me, and my wife was on top of my other son, my 2-year-old son, and my 7-year-old son. So they're protecting their kids with their bodies in this creek bank, basically. They said we just waited it out, and the trees around us were snapping.
You're waiting it out, and the trees around you are snapping.
Can you imagine?
No. It sounds like something from a movie. That's so scary.
It's horrifying.
That's literally a horror movie. It's scary.
It's horrifying. It says they stayed in the creek for about 3 minutes until the tornado passed. What a long 3 minutes that must have been.
It was like 3 years. By the time it was done, their 6-month-old was like getting out of high school or something.
Yeah. Afterwards, they looked around for their 5-year-old little girl and couldn't find her. But fortunately, she was not far away. She was later found wrapped in a blanket in a nearby tree.
She was in a blanket in a tree, like kind of in a little hammock.
She probably came out of the house with a blanket around her. She got swept up and put it into a tree, still in the blanket.
Yeah. Well, kids are little too. Like, it kind of makes me think of, so I'm a twin. Mm-hmm. I don't really talk about my brother that much, but my brother is very small. When we were kids, he was a very small kid.
Yeah, he's petite.
A very, very tiny guy. And I think when we were about 5, he could get swept up by the wind really easy.
Yeah.
And one time we were climbing trees, and I remember he fell, and he got caught on a piece of sap, and it held him up by his shirt.
A piece of sap.
Yeah, it was like it was like the smallest little, like, where a twig had broken. Just a tiny little hook and mostly sap. And it was just holding him. And he's like hanging there. And he's like, Mom, get me down.
That's really funny.
It was ridiculous. He was such a small guy. So it's like, I'm imagining this like little 5-year-old girl just.
Yeah.
Whew,
she just got. But she was safe. She was in a blanket in a nearby tree. The whole family survived. Everybody was okay. They were obviously very fortunate to have survived this very deadly and scary tornado. But it sounded like it kind of skirted their property.
If it did, just being in the ditch probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
Now that is trauma bonding as a family.
Yes. Okay. So the same tornado.
The same tornado.
Yep. As the storm moves past the communities of Hennigar and Hammondville, Alabama, it maintains this same strength and intensity in EF5. Local resident Linda Chitwood has her daily phone call with her son, Jeremy.
What a name.
Jeremy Ferguson. I know, it's kind of like
Chitwood.
Linda Chitwood. She has her daily phone call, just a little check-in call with her son, Jeremy Ferguson, that morning. Not long after this call, Jeremy, his wife, and 2 kids home would take a direct hit from the violent tornado. Neighbors would watch on in horror as the house gets swept away. Several hours later, search and rescue would find the Ferguson family in a field about 150 yards from their home.
The whole family?
They found all the family there.
Okay, yep.
Bryce Ferguson, who was just 10 years old at the time, would later recall that the last thing he remembered before the tornado struck was his dad ordering him, his younger sister, and their mom into the hallway of their home. Bryce was then sucked out of his house, and he says that he remembers this very vividly. The tornado eventually starts to lift after a brief stint of weakening. And when all is said and done, the tornado has carved its way across 36 miles of DeKalb County. I don't know why this didn't make it into my notes. The rest of Bryce's family did not make it, unfortunately. They were found but since they had taken a direct hit, they didn't survive. But Bryce did survive. And
poor Bryce, man. How old was he?
He was 10 years old at the time.
10 years old. You lose your whole family at 10.
Yeah.
You get thrown out of your house, literally.
Yeah. And I don't know why it's not here. I'm pretty sure I wrote this down, but
poor Bryce.
He had a concussion. He was injured, but he made it through.
Well, I'm glad that Bryce survived anyway.
Yeah. So this is the one of it moving 60 miles per hour. So it's 36 miles of DeKalb County, Alabama, over a period of 36 minutes. So it means that it traveled at a constant speed of 60 miles an hour or somewhere around that.
It's like a thing that's moving about the speed of a truck on the highway.
I mean,
it's at the same time, it's kind of like a weed whacker, but on a massive scale, you know? Yeah. Just like sending ballistics everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was that tornado. Now, we're going to go forward in time to December 9th of 2023.
Okay, so only a few years ago.
Yeah. So this is in Clarksville, Tennessee. An EF3 tornado. So not quite that violent intensity, but you don't want to be underneath any tornado. I can assure you of that.
What's an EF1? What is...
Technically, the scale goes all the way to EF0.
So what's a 0?
So an F0 is considered a gale tornado by the National Weather Service. Its wind speed of 40 to 72 miles per hour. So not something you want to be inside of, but...
No, it's enough to push you around pretty hard.
It says it causes damage to chimneys, breaks branches off of trees, pushes over shallow-rooted trees, and damages signboards. Okay. So jumping to an F3. An F3 is considered a severe tornado, has a minimum wind speed of 158 miles per hour. It goes up to 206.
I wonder what these dimensions are, how they're determined. What's 158? Why is that not 100?
I think it's based on what, at this wind speed, we start to notice that steel is bending. Oh, like it's those kinds of. I think that's how they're benchmarking it. So an EF3 causes roof and some walls torn off of well-constructed homes, trains overturned, most trees in the forest uprooted. So
most uprooted.
So I mean, if this goes over you, it's not going to be fun. It's going to rip the roof off your house.
Does uprooted mean it's not like fully taken out of the ground necessarily?
I mean, uprooted means that it's pulled out by the roots. So yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so this tornado hit 2023. Where was this again?
Clarksville, Tennessee.
In Tennessee. Okay.
All right, around 1:30 in the afternoon on December 9th, which, again, by the way, December is not a normal time to be having tornadoes. This is not common at all.
Global warming?
Climate change is absolutely, a factor here. But anyway, it's not typical at all to have a tornado in the early afternoon on a December day. I just want to throw that out there. Typically, tornadoes are late March through early, June, early summer is, the standard, tornado season. It's usually over spring and early summer. When Sydney Moore and her fiance, this guy's a wild name, I think it's Aramis Youngblood.
Dope.
Yeah. When they heard what sounded like an airplane flying directly overhead, they went into fight or flight mode. Again, they're in Tennessee. They know what a tornado sounds like. They went to go grab their 2 young sons. One of their sons, Lord, 4 months old at the time, and their older son, Princeton, who was still just a year old. So 2 little babies. They had both been just laid down for their afternoon nap. Again, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. They are in the safety of their family's 1960s mobile home. I'm going to read a direct quote from an ABC News article. This is Moore, their mother. As soon as I jumped on top of Princeton, the back bedroom and the walls collapsed. She said, I remember me and Princeton got thrown onto the ground. Princeton is the 1-year-old. And when we got picked up and then thrown down again. He never left my arms, and somehow, someway, I still held this pacifier clenched in my hands. Moore clutched her eldest son tightly, while her fiancé ran to the front of the house to grab their younger son, Lord, who was asleep in his bassinet.
Sorry, how old was Lord again?
4 months old.
4 months.
Little baby.
So they had a 1-year-old and a 4 month.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
So she is holding her 1-year-old. her fiance runs to go grab the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the roof was torn off. Lord and Youngblood were both extracted from their home by the tornado. After the tornado passed, Moore and Youngblood were separated from each other, but they were able to call out to each other. They were, like, hey, are you okay? Where are you?
Sure.
They couldn't see each other, though. And it took some time for them to...
Was it because of, like, the debris or, like, what?
Yeah, they were buried. They were separated. Moore was still there with Princeton, and she began to dig herself and her son out while calling back and forth to her fiance. Her fiance didn't have their infant. He didn't make it to the infant in time before the roof was torn off. So they're searching around, panicked. She's calling to him, and he's looking, and he's like, I'm looking for him. But thankfully, he was able to find Lord safely nestled in a tree again. Kids getting blown into trees. Yeah.
Trees are notorious for saving small children from tornadoes.
Mm-hmm. As Moore described it, it was just like he was placed in a tree, like a little cradle for a baby.
Like the nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said it was like a cubby hole in a tree at the bottom. So it must have been like...
Oh.
Like a...
It was literally
where
made
a branch
for him.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said it felt very cinematic as her fiance, and clothes torn in the pouring rain, came back to her while holding their child. All 4 family members suffered only minor injuries.
Thank goodness. Yeah, they were very lucky.
Yep. I think Youngblood had a broken collarbone.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Not too bad. All things considered,
everybody lived.
All things considered. So that's what I have.
Did you get any account from any of these? Like, had a couple of quotes, it sounded like, from some of the people that survived this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I read what I have here, but what questions do you have?
I'm just wondering if they have any stories about them, or I know there's probably news segments and things like that, but...
Yeah, I was not sure how long this would take me to read through, so I kind of trimmed some of that stuff.
It was quite a bit, just because it's 3 different stories, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
So I tried to keep it a little bit more brief, but yeah, no, I don't... There are, like, pictures of... like in the news articles I was reading. If you're curious, I can share those.
Yeah, we should definitely share those on the Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Surviving something like that has to be just bananas.
Should we look at reviews of tornadoes?
Not reviews of tornadoes.
I'm just kidding. 10 out of 10 would do it.
Let's see. What would be a fun place to look at a review of that might be related to this? Oh, what was that airline?
The airline?
Yeah, what was that airline called?
LANSA Flight 508. I don't know if it's still around. LANSA.
It ceased operations in 1972.
That year after.
Following a series of fatal crashes and financial difficulties.
I told you, yeah.
Not the series.
They had another crash literally just prior to this that killed like 100 people.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And they knew about it and still booked the flight.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Mm-hmm. It was the only airlines that had a flight that short notice just before Christmas to get them there.
Wait, which one was she on? Flight what?
508.
I'm glad
this is this is the airline that had motorcycle mechanics instead of actual aviation mechanics.
It's bananas. The
Yeah.
70s were a wild time. Oh wow. 2 people on the ground were also killed. 49 of the people on this flight were American high school exchange students, all of whom perished.
That sucks.
Damn, dude. A Peruvian government investigation concluded the accident was caused by improper execution of engine out procedures by the flight crew and lack of proper maintenance.
Yeah, I don't think they really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I think that's obvious. They were fined and their operations were suspended for 90 days. Wow.
And then immediately
back to it.
Immediately another one.
Right back to it. Oof. Okay. That's sad. Is there something less sad that we can look up?
How would you rate these tornadoes? 5 stars.
No, I would not rate them 5 stars.
They're big tornadoes.
No.
10 out of 10. That tornado was the most tornado I've ever seen.
No, they're deadly and horrific and ruined a lot of people's lives.
That's fair. What about, the places that were hit by tornadoes?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Where do we want to look?
Let's look at fast food.
Which town?
Yeah, any of them. All of them. We'll do one fast food review from each.
Let's start in Topeka. Ooh, let's look at their Culver's. I love
Culver's.
You ever been to a Culver's?
No idea what that is.
Culver's is... I'm trying to think of something that it's similar to.
It's like an Albertsons?
No, it's kind of like if you ever been to like a Freddy's or a Steak and Shake or...
Did we go to Freddy's? We saw a lot of Freddy's, but I don't think we ever went.
We went to Freddy's in Colorado at least once.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Like a Steak and Shake.
Anyway, it's a burger and fries place.
Sure, like a Five Guys or something.
Kind of, but it's their thing is cheese curds.
Yeah. Our internet's screwed, it says.
Their thing is cheese curds, and they do butter burgers.
I love a cheese curd.
So it's like really unhealthy, but it's quite good. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right, man, our internet is cooked right now. What is going on?
I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. I think there's a rainstorm coming in. I'm pretty sure.
Fine.
So we might be screwed. You want to play a game? We're gonna go play Resident Evil. Bye.
What? All right, I'm thinking of a Pokemon.
You're thinking of a Pokemon?
Yep.
Okay, how many guesses do I get?
5.
I got 5 guesses.
You can ask as many questions as you want.
Is it one of the original 151?
Yes.
Okay. Mewtwo.
No.
Damn it. Is it small enough that I could pick it up?
Yes.
Might be kind of heavy. Is it heavy?
I don't know how dense it is.
What's the density of an average Pokemon?
I feel like
what is the tensile strength of a Pokemon? I feel like they're pretty strong if they're beating each other up all the time.
I think you could definitely pick it up. Baby.
Is it a mammal? Would you pick it up kind of like a little kid would pick up a cat?
Kind of.
Is it a mammal? Kind of? Is it kind of?
It's close. It's closest to a mammal, I think.
Like Psyduck?
No.
He's a duck, but like he looks kind of like mammal.
It's not Psyduck.
Okay. Is it a rodent?
Kind of.
Is it a Nidoran?
No.
Is it a rodent or not?
I don't know. It's not any kind. It's not a specific animal. It's its
but
own
you know
thing.
if it's a rodent, right? Like Pikachu's a rodent.
It's not an obvious rodent.
Okay. Lickitung.
No, not Lickitung.
He's kind of a mammal. He's like a pervert.
He is a pervert.
He's a weird Pokemon. Who made that guy? Does he have any lizard qualities?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. What type is it? Is it fire?
It's not fire.
Is it ground?
No.
Is it fighting?
No.
Is it a bug?
No.
But it's small.
Mm-hmm.
Sandshrew?
No.
Sandslash?
No.
Alright, fuck. I think I'm out of guesses. I might have one more.
Yeah, you've been blowing through your guesses. You need to ask more questions. I'll give you one more guess, but you need to ask better questions.
Give me a hint.
It's very rotund.
Is it rock type?
No.
Did I ask that? I did ask that.
Yes.
Is it Snorlax? No, wait. You can't pick that guy up.
Give one more guess, and then I'm cutting you off.
I'm just asking questions. What, we're not allowed to ask questions anymore? Nobody's allowed to joke anymore? Give me another hint. One more hint.
To me, this Pokemon looks similar to another character from an unrelated franchise.
Very helpful. Thank you. Is that franchise Digimon?
No.
I'm just kidding. All right. Does he have 4 legs?
He's bipedal.
He's bipedal. Okay. Does he carry something with him?
No.
Okay. Is he lightning type?
No.
Is he grass?
No.
And he's not poison?
No.
Is he psychic?
No.
Really? I feel like that narrowed it down so much and I still can't think of who it is. Is he like a normal type?
It's one of those ones where it's like multiple types. Normal is one of them.
It's not Eevee or Pikachu. It's a
Mm-mm.
ton. Oh, is it Clefairy? Or Jigglypuff?
Jigglypuff.
It's Jigglypuff.
It's Clefairy.
Of course you can pick up Jigglypuff. They're like super light.
I couldn't remember because Wigglytuff is a little bigger.
Why is it that I can never think of fairy type? I literally never think of fairy type Pokemon. They're just like they never occur to me. I forget because Clefairy's awesome.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and Clefable.
All right, sure. That took far too long.
That took way too long. We'll have to edit that.
All right. On that note, this is gonna be a really long episode.
We should just cut everything.
If you've managed to listen this far, I'm sorry, but also thank you. And if you listen this far, then you probably enjoy us. So make sure that you're following us
on the Insta.
Well, on the Insta, but also just wherever you're listening to this, because there will be more episodes. We've already pre-recorded several, so we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Shirley, hey, Shirley, Will has found you. The amazing thing to see.